yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Yeah, we ran out of patience. Boil up with the cold hard hatred. I can feel the vibration. Feet in the streets, it's a new sensation. I wanna break faces on the pavement. I wanna make greatness look complacent. Adrenaline awakened, I can taste it. We can make an impact, grab and then take it.
for Sevilla. Navas, Ramos, Gudel and Acuna at the back four. Sal, Sumare and Rakitic in midfield, with Campos, Lukebakio and Enesri up front. For Arsenal, David Raya continues in goal despite clearly losing confidence and mistakes creeping into his game. White, Saliba, Gabriel and Tomiyasu make up a back four. Jorginho in the pivot of Odegaard and Rice either side. Gabriel Jesus has his familiar friends of Martinelli and Saka either side of him. It is a fantastic atmosphere here in Sevilla for this game. The side at home have been used to stunning European nights, especially in the UEFA Europa League, but they are looking for success in the Champions League, and after drawing at PSV, they are looking to find home form against Arsenal, who come into this game off the back of an exhausting 2-2 draw away at London rivals Chelsea on Sunday. What do they have in the energy stores ahead of this one? We are almost ready to go. Gabriel Jesus stood in the centre circle with his green strip, goes back to Raya in goal and gets this match underway. He goes instantly long left looking for Declan Rice, and the flick on comes towards him. Back around the corner looking for Martinelli, and Arsenal trying to see if they can win maybe a corner in the opening 15 seconds, but it's dealt with well by Navas, who wins the throw-in instead. 13th in La Liga, Sevilla, not had the start domestically that they would have expected. Diego Alonso, the head coach, maybe just taking time for his side to adapt to this new season and his play style. He's bouncing around with Rakitic, the former Barcelona man, and he loses out, and Jesus gets his first touch from kickoff, but it goes out just for another Sevilla throw down the Arsenal left. Lots of questions being asked for Mikel Arteta about the goalkeeper, of course. Raya with a couple of areas of recent games, including the one that saw Mudryk score for Chelsea, as Sevilla take their first break forward and go down the left-hand side with Acuna, the left-back, just inside the Arsenal half, but they decide, the team all in white with black socks, to just maintain possession instead, and Nyland goes back to his defence, and the experienced Sergio Ramos, who played against his former club on the weekend and made some important stops to deny Los Blancos from a win. Ball just banging around between Ramos and Nyland still. The travelling Arsenal support behind Nyland's goal currently. They'll be witnessing their Arsenal team shoot towards them in the second half as it switched out to the right-hand side to Navas on the halfway line. Ball played to Rakitic at walking pace, and Arsenal okay with that as things stand in the first 2 minutes of this game. Jesus Navas down the line looking for a 1-2 with Ocampos, and well, they felt they won a throw. It's gone instead the way of Ben White and Arsenal, who has dyed his hair similar colour to his name ahead of the Chelsea game last week. Came back from the international break sporting the new look. He holds the ball on his head looking for options down the line. Ignores Saka, and Jesus tries to flick it round the corner, and they'll win a throw in 20 yards further up the field, further towards the middle of Sevilla's territory. It's nearly 3-4 minutes of action without anything of any interest for either goalkeeper. Raya hasn't touched the ball since he sent it long from kickoff. Nyland has just enjoyed a small passing game amongst his centre-backs, and he rolls it half a yard to Sumare, who drops in between the centre-backs and play out from the back. Sergio Ramos goes long over the halfway line, but Saliba wins the first header. And then it's rolled all the way back to David Raya in goal. The Spaniard back in his home nation, former Brentford man, of course. And he goes to Gabriel, and Arsenal will do what Sevilla have done and just pass from the back and enjoy early possession. Jorginho plays it over the halfway line to Saka, who will be liking the look of running at Jesus Navas. Much older and more experienced defender, 37 years of age. Of course, wasn't a defender when he played for Manchester City. And he fouled Saka just past the halfway line for an Arsenal free kick, but not one that they'll send long into the penalty area. Ben White looking backwards already. It is not blonde hair, is it? It is super white for Ben White if you saw him against Chelsea. He sends a ball over the top looking for Tomiyasu, who had come all the way from the left-hand side down the centre. And Jesus clears it for a throw 10 yards from the corner flag down the Arsenal right. 4.5 minutes gone, 0-0. White with the throw. Blessed with much movement ahead of him, so he's still to take his time. Floats one to Odegaard on the byline. He gets it into the penalty area looking for Jesus. Bounces around the box and cleared away by Ramos as far as Saliba. Volleys it back, but Jesus Navas with the header clear, and Ocampos can send one over the top looking for the run of Luca Bacchio, but it just runs into the penalty box, occupied by Raya instead, and will quickly diffuse any hope of a severe attack. Of course, we'll keep you up to date with goals in the other game in this group between Lens and PSV, and games elsewhere. Of course, we had 2 games earlier. Bayern Munich taking their time, but eventually winning 3-1 away at Galatasaray, and Inter with a narrow 2-1 victory over Salzburg. 0-0 here as Tomiyasu charges down the left. Cross is dealt with easily by Ramos. Odegaard keeps the attack alive though for Arsenal, and Martinelli wins a throw just in line in the penalty area on the far side, the left side for Arsenal. He gets it back off Tomiyasu. Back to the corner flag. He's trying to work something. In for Tomiyasu once more, who drills a shot low, and it's just wide of Nyland's goal. And it's the first shot we've seen in the opening 7 or so minutes in this game. And Tomiyasu, not for the first time, getting in a more advanced position in the pitch. Into the starting 11 ahead of Zinchenko, who does make the Arsenal bench, a bench that is packed with talent. Cedric, Elneny, Havertz, Kivior, Nelson, Nketiah, Ramsdale, Smith Rowe, Trossard, Vieira, Zinchenko and Hein, a spare goalkeeper there. So plenty of options for Mikel Arteta as Sumare goes back to Nyland in goal. And now Sergio Ramos gives it to Acuna, who can push forward. Ocampos round the corner looking for Navas. Navas chasing Saliba right into the corner. Saliba touched at last, so he's got to prevent the corner. And he just clears for a throw 15 yards from his own byline. Acuna asks for the ball quickly from one of the Spanish ball kids, but he can't take the throw in as fast as he hopes. He eventually gets it in. Saka clears the loose ball away. Ramos picks things up and goes to a centre-back partner, and Gudelia tries one from range, and it is about 20 yards over where the crossbar is. And of no joy for Sevilla. But both teams have had a shot, one far more menacing than the other, but Tomiyasu, being closer, still could only find the side netting, and neither goalkeeper's gloves have touched the ball. Here is Tomiyasu once more on the left side. Floats on towards the centre for Gabriel Jesus. He's got runners with him. Jesus flicks around the corner. Martinelli into the penalty area. Shot is saved. Ricochets off Martinelli and out of play. And there's a missed opportunity for the Brazilian. Brilliant football over the top. Jesus found acres of space. Lovely ball round the corner for Martinelli. Through 1-on-1. He just opens his body, but can't find the corner. Too central against the outrushing Nyland, who gets a foot to it, and it bounces off Martinelli's knee after and out for a goal kick. But that's the best chance of the game so far, and really should have been taken by Martinelli. Fantastic opportunity through on goal, but just didn't set it wide enough of the goalkeeper, Nyland. former Aston Villa goalkeeper. He had a spell in Reading last year before then going to Germany, and now here in Sevilla, making a crucial save to keep this at 0-0 inside 9 full minutes. His ball forward is cut out by Saliba. Sumare picks up the loose pieces midway in his own half and goes left to Acuna. And Campos, who wins the throw and takes it quickly to Rakitic. Lovely chest pass back to Sal. And now it goes out wide to Navas once more. Navas to Rakitic, nearing the Arsenal corner flag. Has his captain alongside. Rakitic tries to pass inside instead. Now Jesus Navas gets deflected across. Campos flicks around the corner, but at a tight angle. It can only go wide of the goal. Good fast build-up from Sevilla. I'm just trying to respond after that missed Martinelli chance, but it remains goalless, as it does in all the other Champions League games. You can keep an eye of all of those on your Flash Score app, including action between Manchester United and Copenhagen, Prague against Real Madrid, Union Berlin against Napoli as well, Benfica against Real Sociedad, as well as the other game in this group. This ball will go back to Nyland in goal. Goals have been shared across Arsenal, but not really through the strikers. Saka and Martinelli have been key in goals, as is Odegaard. Saka with 4 to his name, Odegaard with 3. Martinelli and Eddie Nketiah both have 2, Nketiah on the bench. Jesus just the 1. He scored in the previous game, of course, at Lens, before then Arsenal fell apart from a goal ahead to lose 2-1. Sergio Ramos sends it forward, and Rakitic first time around the corner to Navas. They go back to the halfway line once more, though, with the former Real Madrid centre-back and more recently, of course, Paris Saint-Germain. Ramos once more. Sumare a bit under pressure, and Acuna goes back, but Saka's chasing Nyland down and forcing him to go long. And Arsenal will pick up the loose ball. Jesus, midway up the Sevilla half, goes left to Martinelli, hugging the touchline towards the penalty area. Couple of step overs. Back in field to Jesus. Turns into trouble, so he's forced backwards once more. Tomiyasu to Jorginho, and they're getting closer to the halfway line instead, Arsenal. Good forward pass from Gabriel to Martinelli once more. 1-2 with his fellow Brazilian Jesus. So skip round Sevilla defenders. But eventually one catches up with Martinelli. And Sevilla win it back, although they've gifted away cheaply. Odegaard to Rice. Rice now out wide. Right to White. Wide in field once more to Jorginho, who's trying to take the play for Arsenal. And they're moving it quickly, are the Gunners, which is positive for them, but just not quite able to break down the Sevilla defence yet. 12 minutes gone, goalless. Saliba infield, gets it back of Jorginho. Rice floats one left to Martinelli, and now Jesus, who's right on the touchline down the left channel. Goes backwards once more as Arsenal consolidate possession, and Rice tucks in alongside White, who's acting as a third centre-back, allowing Tomiyasu to push forward. Here he is down the left. He's trying to slide one in behind for Jesus, but it's cut out by Jesus Navas, who goes over the top looking for a quick counter-attack. Rakitic is the man trying to lead that counter-attack, which is not the man you'd normally expect, and Gabriel deals with it with ease as Rakitic slips on the surface to add to his troubles. Jorginho pokes one to White, who heads it back to Raya under a bit of pressure from Sevilla defence, so he can collect in his hands. The number 22 got caught by I think we all feel was a cross that fell into the goal from Mudryk. No one really believes he meant it, but Raya caught out by it. And of course, a couple of sloppy passes that weren't punished. And there were some signs in the games prior that he was just looking a little bit nervy, but he continues to keep his place ahead of Aaron Ramsdale, despite Mikel Arteta saying they were both number ones. It's clear that Raya is the only number one, and Aaron Ramsdale has been relegated to reserve goalkeeper. I think if Arteta just said that, there's been far less spotlight on this, but supposedly being number ones each, Ramsey will be wondering why he's not been rotated in at any point, apart from one game in the League Cup, as a loose ball falls into the hands of Nyland in the Sevilla goal. Made a big save to deny Martinelli midway through this first 14 minutes of action we've had. One loss in the last 8 for Sevilla domestically in the European games as well. However, 8 of those games, well, 5 of them have finished in draws. So it does show they have been struggling for wins. Just the 2 so far in La Liga. It's at 13th, 2 wins, 3 draws and 4 defeats. The only defeat in those run of 8 games was against Barcelona. Arsenal won a throw, but So thinks he should have won a free kick, and in fact actually the referee has now since changed his mind. He pointed for a throw and has since been advised to give the free kick instead. Rakitic trying to switch it out, but he's just under hit it, and Tomiyasu gets there first, heads to Martinelli inside Arsenal's territory, and they go back to their own penalty area to Raya, who tries to cross it out, but he's been caught out by Rakitic, and that was a poor pass from Raya, and Arsenal under pressure. Ocampos on the edge of the penalty area, trying to drift past White, can't get round Saliba, who helped cover the English defender, and Raya able to clear this one much further away. Oh, lovely footwork from Samara, who skips past 2 pressing Arsenal players, but then Rakitic, with an attempt to switch it, gives it away again, and Martinelli, although he's dispossessed by Samara, and the referee belatedly gives a free kick, and just before Sevilla think about a counter-attack, they are forced back as the rain just looks like it's getting harder now in Seville. Diego Alonso, the Sevilla manager, is in a grey suit, and he's just gone back to the technical area to hide under the cover with plenty of raindrops across his shoulders being shown in the suit. It's a free kick that Jorginho will take sideways to Saliba. And they will look for options, but not blessed going forward, so keeps it along the back line. After this, Arsenal head back to England. They have Sheffield United to come on the weekend. A team that have been struggling this season, to say the least. Ball has struck the official, and it's going to go Arsenal's way, and Rakitic is very unhappy. He feels that had it not touched the referee, he would have intercepted it, but as far as I understand, the rules are that the ball goes to the team who had it last, although now it seems that maybe Rakitic's appeals have been successful. The ball's been given to Samare, but Jesus is now insisting he will kick it back to the goalkeeper instead. It's all a bit messy. And eventually it goes to Nyland, and I'm not sure it was dealt with the most cleanly or efficiently, but eventually it was. Ramos tries to go down the line, but sends it 15 yards wide into touch. No goals here. We have got a goal though in Portugal, and Rodrigo has scored for Real Madrid away at Braga. So Madrid with the lead in that one, and that would be 3 wins from 3 if they can get that over the line. Ball forward from Ocampos, goes back to Sergio Ramos, just as we talk about his former side, and he was synonymous with winning the Champions League with Real Madrid. Gudelia. Now Ramos once more. They're just shy of the halfway line. Sumari tries to go over that, but Gabriel quick to intercept and just force Sevilla backwards once more. Cagey battle of the midfield. Both teams just happy to pass around the back with little penetration. Campos briefly steps into the Arsenal half down the left, but goes back to Ramos, who quickly switches to the right, looking to get over the head of Tomiyasu. Excellent ball to do so. And now it's with Luka Bacchio, who gets a cross in. It's over the head of everybody, and it will fall back outside the box, and Saka will deal with it. He was fouled by Acuna, who protests his innocence, but a pull on the arm. And Saka was always looking for a bit of help. And he was delighted to feel a slight tug from Acuna just to help him go down, and especially with European referees who are much more lenient in terms of the slightest contact can win free kicks. Saka was always going to get the help he wanted. So, 19 minutes gone, goalless. Raya hasn't made a save. He's seen 2 shots comfortably wide of his goal, whereas Nyland, with a crucial intervention, denying Martinelli through 1-on-1, keeping this game level, par for the course. Now Campos goes backwards to Acuna, who almost lost it into touch, and now Saka's decided to pounce on him with the press, and Acuna's running out of space, and Saka puts it out for a throw midway in Sevilla's half on the left channel. Twice Sevilla led at PSV in match day 2. Gudalion and Nesri, but twice equalisers came from the Dutch outfit, and they had to settle for a point apart. Now it's Gabriel inside the centre circle. Edges forward. Haven't seen much of Declan Rice in this game, so instead he goes left to Martinelli, with Tomiyasu coming in on the inverted run instead of the overlap. So just playing patiently. Same as Sevilla. It's not going to be a goal fest, this. It's going to be a small margin, you feel, the way that the first quarter of the match has gone. Little action in front of goal. Mainly ball being played amongst the centre-backs. And in fact, we've got all the way back to David Raya, thanks to the eventual Sevilla press, who are thinking about targeting Raya, who gives it away, and there's a chance, and it's a loose touch in the middle. It was a bit difficult for Luca Bacchio. It was forced at his feet from Navas, and he just couldn't take the speed out of the pass, and Raya pounced on it. But again, a loose pass from the Spanish goalkeeper, and Arsenal lucky to avoid punishment. Now Martinelli comes forward. Tomiyasu leaves it for Rice. Rice on the edge of the penalty area, back down the left side to Martinelli, who's trying to spin away from Acuna. Looks to a 1-2 of Tomiyasu. Into the penalty area it goes, and Ramos comes across, a couple of dummies, and deals with the pressure. Although he tries to win a throw-in, and it ricochets off his chest, and it'll be an Arsenal ball, only sort of 10 yards from the corner flag, right near some of the away support that have travelled over from London to Seville for this evening's game. Midway through the first half, yet to see a goal. Questions from Martinez offside, but we play on into the box for Jesus, who bends one, and it's comfortably wide. It was a difficult angle. He's got his hands on his head, but it was a very challenging one. Ball was stuck under his feet, and he just couldn't get the whip needed because of that. If he managed to get it just outside of his body more, he would have had a chance. Had Luca Bacchio taken the touch down the other end from a Campos, he would have been onside, but it was a very difficult pass to control. Odegaard of a loose touch in the wet and slippy conditions, and Sevilla clear to just outside their own penalty line. Goalless here. Only one goal for game so far, and that is in Braga, where Madrid lead 0-0 elsewhere, including in the other game in this group. Arsenal give away a free kick due to handball on the edge of the Sevilla penalty, and that just gives them some time to take the sting out of the most recent Arsenal attack. I don't think Jesus has quite hit the levels that Arsenal fans maybe would have hoped when he joined. He scored 11 goals in the Premier League last season, which was great, but it could have been more. It's his highest return in the last 2 years, though. But of course, a lot more starting games than he would have had for Manchester City. Not quite as many minutes, because of course he missed quite a lot of the action through injury, especially towards the second half of the season. But of course he's similar to a fellow Brazilian, Roberto Firmino, and his main role is not necessarily just to score goals, but it's to create. But just the one so far this season, I think Arsenal would need to find a little bit more, especially if they lost Saka or Martinelli through injury. So if we have a free kick on the halfway line, they send long and left towards Campos, who's battling with Saka doing his defensive duties. And Campos trying to come in field, but Saka forcing him further away from goal. Now Ramos tries his luck down the right-hand side with Gudelja. And now Jesus Navas. Lukebakio goes backwards. Ramos first time left to Acuna. You can see the experience of Ramos. He knows that they just need to try move the ball quickly when they get in the Arsenal half like this. Showing that experience, but Arsenal defence standing strong. Rakitic, a man who can create anything. Former Barcelona midfielder. Ramos switching it to the right to Navas, but once again it's cut by Tomiyasu. Just a bit too much height and loft on it from the centre-back. Navas went down under a challenge as well, but we're playing on. Sumare, he tries his luck down the left of Acuna. First time ball in is dealt with quickly by Saliba. And Sumare will keep the attack alive down the left of Acuna. Forced backwards by Saka, but it's a good spell from Sevilla. Showing a bit of threat around the box, but not quite able to test Raya just yet. He's looked weak with his feet, but his hands remain dry from any action. Nyland, who made the crucial save so far, gets a touch. No goals in the Champions League to report on so far. We've had 25.5 minutes here. And Martinelli has had the best chance, but it's been saved. So it goes to Gudelja. And now forward to the feet of Lukebakio. Tomiyasu cuts it out. Now Rice going in an advanced position towards the penalty area. Rice into the box, cuts it back, and it's dealt with well. Like it was So who got there and cleared it away. Gudelja with an interesting challenge from Rice to just force him wide, and the former West Ham man had the cutback without really looking to see who was there. Tomiyasu with the throw. Just in line in the penalty area. Not really found many options. Tries to find Jesus, who wins the corner. And Arsenal will have a chance to threaten with the set piece. Sergio Ramos will be leading the line defensively to try and clear this away as White comes forward. Gabriel and Saliba too. It'll be Martinelli with his silver boots to take from the left-hand side. Arsenal players queuing up behind the back post, looking to make a run infield towards the 6-yard box. Martinelli goes short instead to Jesus in the box. Back to Martinelli, and he's missed the pass coming in, and it's out for a goal kick. It was a training ground move, but just a bit too overcomplicated maybe. And a bit of a waste. Last time we saw Diego Alonso, his suit was getting a soaking, where he's come back now from the dugout sporting a new black coat, so he can stay dry. Maybe someone, one of his assistants, has been sent to the locker room, or maybe even the shop, to buy him something to keep him dry. Of course, you don't see managers use umbrellas. Steve McLaren is the reason for that. Tried it once, got named the Wally with the Brolly, and we've never really seen it since. Ball goes to the halfway line for Acuna on the left, facing up Saka, going infield, and there's a bit of space now for the midfield to attack, and his Lukebakio on the edge of the box is deflected into the path of Saliba, who clears away. And now Odegaard with a nice flick, and Saka can break, and it's Bukayo Saka bouncing down the right-hand side. Limited options alongside him in green. Saka cuts in field, tries the left foot shot. It's blocked by Rakitic off the bum cheeks of the Spaniard and away. And Campos is denied by White, and it's an Arsenal throw on the halfway line. Bit of counter-attacking football from Arsenal and from Bukayo Saka. He just didn't have any support runners with him, had to go alone, and Rakitic could sense that and made the block quite comfortably. And it goes to Rice. He goes backwards to Saliba, and now Gabriel stood on the halfway line. Uses his centre-back partner. 0-0. Arsenal have had the one and only real chance in the game, and that was Martinelli. Jorginho, he's been quiet the last 5 minutes. Takes it over the halfway line. Odegaard gets it. Jesus has it briefly before it's switched out to Saka, but he's 45 yards from goal, not where he really wants to be. Odegaard struggling to get in the game, as he did against Chelsea as well, where he was ineffective. White looks to send one over the top, looking for Saka into the penalty area. It's just overhit and a run into the hands of Nyland. Nice idea, but a very difficult pass to execute. It's also 0-0 between Manchester United and Copenhagen, and as you can see, if you click on the game on the Flash Score app, the Copenhagen have the higher XG, slightly higher possession, as well as more attempts in the game. So it tells you everything you need to know. If you can listen to that game as well, but then of course you'd lose commentary here. But maybe keep an eye on the other English team in action tonight. There's 2 more to come tomorrow. Manchester City, of course, the holders playing. Celtic as well, representing the United Kingdom against Atletico Madrid. It's gone back to Jesus Navas, who uses the right-hand side to find Luke Bacchio. One person we really haven't seen much of at all is the actual striker for Sevilla in Nezi. Back it goes to Nyland instead. It was a dream for Arsenal fans to win the Champions League. They came painfully close, didn't they? Maybe about 15 years ago, when they lost to Barcelona in Paris. Samara goes to Goodell. And now Luka Bacco bouncing down the right-hand side. Able to try and switch to the left, but it's underhit and easily cut out by Saka. And also thinking about a counter-attack maybe. Here's space for Odegaard, who joins the Sevilla half. Goes infield to Saka, but he's bundled off the ball by Ocampos, and Saka remains down and hurt. Sevilla wondering if they should play on. Rakitic is calling for the ball to be put out of play for Saka to receive treatment, and he is rolling in discomfort with his left hand cradling his ankle on his left-hand side. He had in the challenge of Ocampos, I think a stud catches his ankle, but then it just kind of flaps and bounces as well, and that could be maybe where ligaments and tendons get injured. And Saka does seem to be in some discomfort, and we get a glimpse of a nervy, unsettled Mikel Arteta on the sideline, praying that he's not going to have lost Bukayo Saka to injury. Of course, whilst we're talking about tomorrow's games, another exciting one, Newcastle against Dortmund. The Geordies, after their home victory against PSG, won't be afraid of the German outfit. While Saka is still down, Mikel Arteta is using this as a chance to have a team talk with the other 10, or I suppose 9, but David Raya hasn't joined. Saka is up to his feet, but is yet to really move in any sort of fashion where we can decipher how comfortable he is. It's a gingerly limp towards the sidelines, but not one that suggests he is coming off just yet. Maybe he'll attempt to run this off, we'll see. It's a very slow departure for the field for temporary purpose, though, from Saka. So we'll restart with a drop ball at the feet of Jesus Navas, who was in possession before the game was delayed for Saka's injury break. Saka is allowed back on. It's different rules in Europe than it is in the Premier League. In the Premier League, he would have had to have waited 30 seconds to come back on the field, but for competitions that rule does not apply. So straight back onto the field and still testing out with a bit of a hobble. It's Bukayo Saka, but I think he's going to be okay to carry on. Rakitic with a lovely turn away from Rice, who fouls him midway in the Sevilla half. We've got just over 10 minutes of normal time remaining. Of course, that's another thing UEFA haven't fully followed on, is the amount of time being added on that we've seen in the Premier League this season. Goodell able to run into the Arsenal side of the pitch and wins a throw-in 20 yards from the right corner flag for Jesus Navas to take. He goes infield, but it's dealt with easily by Odegaard and cleared away. Goodell takes it down nicely from the sky. Great turn from Samari. He looked really impressive in midfield. Ball goes forward to Ocampos, twists and turns, and then tries to find a too clever pass where his teammates weren't quite on the same wavelength. It was Rakitic he was looking for. And just a bit too overcomplicated. And out it goes. The most impressive player on the pitch. Got relegated last season. It's quite a surprise, but Bukayo Samara has been the standout player in a game that hasn't got many. It's been cagey, patient, and just the one opportunity, and that was Martinelli's that he missed, hitting it at the feet of Nyland. White infield to Rice. He's trying to dictate the play. He and Odegaard in that midfield just haven't really controlled the game like they would normally do or prefer. Martinelli trying to find a bit of magic down the left channel, getting closer to the penalty area. Out of space, he goes back to Gabriel and Saliba, and from left to right they go. White switching it, looking for Martinelli. Navas read it early and heads away. So to Samare, and Navas can volley up and over the halfway line. Saliba, great strength, and now he's going on a run, and he slots in Martinelli down the left. He's going to do well to get there before the byline. Did the ball go out of play? The referee says yes, and again just signs that Martinelli isn't quite up to speed. The game against Chelsea was the longest amount of time he'd played this season. Of course, he picked up an injury in the opening game against Everton. Played half a game against Manchester City at the start of the month, and then on the other side of that international break, 77 minutes against Chelsea, but he's still showing he's just not quite up to sharpness. Here he is again. Goes back infield to Tomiyasu. Jorginho takes over down the centre. Odegaard with a bit of space down the right. Driving towards the back box. Uses wide on the overlap. Back it goes for Saka. Just slow down now for Arsenal. White once more. Saka lets it run, but that will send it back towards the halfway line, and Saliba again. And it was in a promising position of Odegaard, Saka and White in the corner. They just slowed it down too much. Odegaard trying to get a bit more involved. And back in the Arsenal half for Saliba. Under no press from the Sevilla defence. They are not interested in him. He looks for Martinelli, but it's easily headed away by Jesus Navas. Luca Bacchio contests his legs and run. And Declan Rice is struggling to keep up with him as Luca Bacchio gets in line in the penalty area. He gets across in, there's nobody there, and White clears away. And nobody gambled for Sevilla. The 6-yard box is empty. Rye was in trouble. And Martinelli clashing with So. And it's a free kick for Sevilla, but both players are going to need treatment. So on his back. Martinelli rolling from side to side. Martinelli bundled into So in the rib cage with his body, and that's why the Sevilla man's hurt. And then I think there's a bit of an awkward landing for the Brazilian in Arsenal colours, why he wants treatment as well. Both players have their respective teams' physios around them on the floor. I think So is going to be more winded than anything. Martinelli having his ankle tested by the doctors. So we'll have a free kick for Sevilla when this is done. Elsewhere, no goal to tell you about. Manchester United still drawing 0-0 with Copenhagen. And cannot find the breakthrough there in quite an important game. And Lens and PSV remain goalless as well, with not much action happening in that one. Martinelli still down receiving treatment, whilst Rakitic is in discussions about how to use this set piece most efficiently. With 5 minutes to go of normal time, Martinelli limps off, and there were concerns on the other wing with Saka a moment ago, and this time it's Martinelli, which has Arsenal fans just praying for no damage to have been done. Free kick on the right side, not really one for Rakitic to shoot from, so he'll look at the cross instead, you imagine. The bearded Spaniard looks to float one towards the far post, but Raya comes out and collects, and it was fairly easy for the new Arsenal number one. And he rolls out quickly for Jesus, who's starting the counter-attack and does ever so well to win a throw-in midway up the Sevilla half. It's all he ever wanted, and he found it with a great long bursting run. Good experience from the Brazilian, getting as far away from his own penalty area as he could. White will take the throw. It's not been the most entertaining half of football, but then by the looks of things, the Champions League is struggling for goals this evening. Throw-in goes all the way out for goal kick, with Jesus on the floor appealing for a foul that he does not receive. Martinelli is back on the field, by the way. Rakitic quickly fires it left to Campos on the halfway line. White closes him down rapidly and forces Sevilla backwards once more. Campos to Ramos to Goodell. And now Nyland inside his penalty area. Yet to see him leave it. Rakitic trying to flick around the corner for a Campos, who does well to pick up the pieces. He felt he was being fouled by Saliba, and the referee has bought that slightly. I'm not entirely sure there was enough in that. I don't think Saliba's done anything wrong there. Ziri just kind of fell to the floor. 3 minutes to go of normal time. It's not been exactly the most thrilling. Not quite what you expect from the Champions League, but sometimes when you get two strong teams, this is what happens. Priority is to not concede. Nyland being pressed by Odegaard, but he gets it away in time to Navas. Navas comes in field and switches to Acuna. Saka starts the press, but they pass around that press pretty easily because Saka was a lone presser for Arsenal. Acuna looking to switch it over to Tomiyasu, under hit. The left back in for Zinchenko, deals with that one comfortably. He's been quite a threat going forward for Arsenal. More seen offensively than defensively so far in these first 43 minutes. So Arsenal play through the Sevilla press well. Jorginho just puts his Arsenal defence a bit under pressure again, but we're looking pretty calm, Arsenal. Saliba once more. Gives it to White. Midway in his own half. Gives away possession when he looks for Saka, and it's easily dealt with. And Ramos. Quickly, Jesus comes speeding in, but Sumare again turns round him. He's ever so impressive this game. Navas underhits it slightly, and Tomiyasu does well. Arsenal's best player so far, and he clears it away. But Sevilla will try and come again. Sumare once more skips away from one challenge and the second. Now uses So. Acuna infield to Ramos inside the centre circle. Ramos can't find space away from Odegaard, who often leads the press for Arsenal. There'll be a couple of minutes of injury time, I imagine, with the stoppages for Martinelli and Saka. I wouldn't expect more than 2 or 3, though. In the final minute of normal time we go. Ramos finds Lukaku on the right touchline. Navas coming on the outside, but Lukaku keeps it. But can't find any space away from Tomiyasu. Gets it infield to So. Now it goes to Navas on the right touchline. Navas dummies once, dummies twice, 3 times. He still can't find the space. Digs out a cross straight at Raya, and that's easily dealt with. And very well dealt with by Tomiyasu. Didn't give him the space to cross easily. Didn't give him any time to twist and turn past him. Didn't dive in. And he's done well coming in at left back. So we've got final seconds before we find out how much stoppage time we have in this game. Rice gets it over the halfway line and goes left to Martinelli. 4 minutes. I'm not entirely sure where they found that. I'm sure this game deserves an extra 4 minutes so far. Jorginho inside the centre circle. Uses his defensive partners instead. Gabriel gives it to Saliba. And White drops back into his own half to collect possession. Nice ball to find Jorginho. But then it's cut out looking for Odegaard, and Ramos with the intercept sprints further forward. Ocampos only has Ramos ahead of him for now. Now it's a great ball forward for Naziri. Infield goal, and he pulls it just wide. And it's the best chance Sevilla have had. They opened Arsenal up. It was the interception from Sergio Ramos, who continued his run. That took Saliba away, left a massive hole for Naziri to occupy. Under bit of pressure from Declan Rice, shot across his body, and he just pulled it, and it was past Raya and past the post, and the first real chance that Sevilla have had, and they can't find the target. All thanks to Sergio Ramos with the intercept, and his run created the hole and just separated the Arsenal defence there. And that will have worried Arteta with 2.5 minutes remaining of first half stoppage time. Saka forward to Jesus, but the referee's blown for a free kick against Bukayo Saka for handball. It's half time between Lens and PSV. As things stand, if both games stay 0-0, then of course no change in positions. Lens will be top of the group with 5 points. Arsenal second with 4. Sevilla in the Europa League spot with 3 points, and PSV on 2. Meaning the game is very much up for grabs, as is the group. Nyland gets it back of Ramos. And no press at all is the former Reading goalkeeper. Takes his time and goes to the feet of Samare, the two that were both at Leicester City, of course. Left foot long from Nyland. White heads back into the Sevilla half. Acuna wins the first ball, gets it back away from the press of Saka, and now lovely play from Ocampos, and he skipped past 2. Both Saka and White taken out of the game. Acuna crosses to the far side, slightly over hip. It will find Lukaku on the edge of the box. His cross in, dealt with well by Gabriel. And he's cleared it to Jesus. And now Arsenal can break. And Martinelli through a goal. Martinelli only has the goalkeeper to beat. He couldn't do it the first time. He goes round, and this time, and Arsenal score with a minute to go in stoppage time. From back to front, a swooping counter-attack, and Arsenal lead. Ocampos split the Arsenal defence. His cross went to Lukaku. His cross himself was dealt with by Gabriel. Jesus picked up the clearance. A quick turn, and Martinelli had known where to go from the very beginning. He was on his bike. He'd gone in behind the Sevilla defence. And he was through on goal with about 40 yards to cover. And he didn't even really offer a dummy shot. He just drew a Nyland and then just dribbled round him with ease. Jesus with a stunning Cruyff turn before sending Martinelli through on goal. Had plenty of time to think about what to do. And he just ran round the goalkeeper. He never feints to shoot. He just runs slightly diagonally before scoring into the empty net. And Arsenal scored just before half-time. We don't even restart the game. The referee blows for the whistle. And Martinelli has given them the lead. Sevilla 0, Arsenal It's a fantastic strike from Gabriel Jesus, cutting infield into the penalty area and rifling it past the goalkeeper. Spoke earlier about the lack of goals coming from the Brazilian, but he's belted that into the back of the corner. And Jesus doubles Arsenal's lead. It's 2-0. And what a result this could be in Spain. A fantastic finish from the former Manchester City striker, cutting in off the left into the back of the net. And Sevilla find themselves 2 behind with just under a half to go. And this is really going to challenge them now. They are going to have to really work hard to get this one back. The home side. Tomiyasu with a ball to deal with over the top. He clears that away. And Arsenal come again. And Jesus goes to Odegaard. Now to Saka. Saka just past one. Goes down into the penalty area. Referee not interested. Of course, VAR will have a look. I'm not sure they're going to be interested in giving anything. Didn't look like there was enough of connection against Saka there. Still we find to see if there is a check, but so far it looks like that they are going to be happy with the referee's on-field decision. Rice comes forward again. Martinelli into the penalty area, cuts across. It's going to find its way to Saka at the far post. He lays it off. Odegaard tries to place it. It's dealt with by Ramos, and they clear away. And Sevilla are living on the edge here. They are really struggling to finish or survive this attack from Arsenal, who are all over them in the start of the second half. Odegaard tried to place it, he just couldn't find the crucial touch. And they're going to have to make a change, Sevilla. Mariano Diaz is going to come on. And it's Luca Bacchio who comes off. And Eric Lamela, former Spurs man, is going to come on as well. And all these changes save Sevilla's game. PSV scored against Lens meanwhile, and that would change the complexion completely in this group. And Sevilla need to really step up their game now. Arsenal 2 away at Sevilla. Out to the left it goes. Goodell, and he goes back to Navas, whose cross is blocked, and they'll win a corner off Tomiyasu. And this could be a chance to find that equalising goal. Will they be able to pull one back? Chance for Rakitic to deliver, arm raised. In it goes, a pace into the back of the net, and Sevilla do have one back. And it's Goodell, the centre-back, who scored, of course, against PSV. And he's pulled one back for Sevilla here. It's whipped in from Rakitic, real pace. And Goodell just powers it home with a header.